College provides a lot of young adults their first taste of financial independence, but with newfound freedom comes some long-term effects. That's why it's important to take the right steps now to avoid thousands of dollars of debt later on. Joining me now is Howard Schwartz, the Executive Communications Director of Connecticut's Better Business Bureau. Welcome back, Howard. How are you?
Thanks. Good, Ryan. How are you?
So let's get right into this. What are the biggest mistakes that college students make?
Underestimating their expenses, not budgeting properly, not budgeting at all, having late payments, missed payments, not checking their financial statements, not checking the credit reports. Pretty much the same things as the rest of us, except they're less equipped to handle these things and to understand those long-term consequences you were talking about.
Do you have any tips for them, and anything that for children of our viewers or grandchildren that they can do to improve their situation?
Oh, sure. At the very least, they should be realistic when they're building their budget. Don't forget the car, don't forget the rent, the utilities, but also very important, don't forget that you want to put a little money away. It doesn't matter how little you put away for the future, to take advantage of what Albert Einstein called one of the most powerful forces in the universe, so that's compound interest.
Now, college students, of course, building up a lot of interest on their loans. Is there a way that they can avoid things like this in the future? Are there any precautionary things that they can do now to sort of stop this from getting too big, from snowballing?
Yes, I mean, you have student loans, you have to pay for that and the car and all the rest of it, but you've got to bring credit under control. It's easy to obtain, tougher to get under control. So the most important thing now is to make sure you pay those bills on time, because that will affect the way lenders regard you as a risk. And if you're a bad risk, that means you might not be able to obtain credit, or it may be more expensive.
And how about overdrawing bank accounts? I know a lot of college students, especially when I was in college, and even now, overdrawing those bank accounts sometimes. I've heard that doesn't help your credit score too much.
No, not at all. And the fees are fairly high. $40 if you go over your limit.
Yeah, not fun.
And 30% interest rates. So these are the kinds of things that lenders look at. And utility payments, all the rest, and even missing one can affect the way that lenders are going to look at you down the road.
And is there anything that the Better Business Bureau is doing now to sort of help students in these situations?
Sure. If you come to our website, you'll find all kinds of helpful things on managing your credit, managing your money in general, and also learning about the scams, the various ways that they can lose their money, because students are among the group that is highest at risk for identity theft. And that
really?
Very close. Well, it's the behavior, not logging off of computers, not being careful with what's lying around the dorm. So there's plenty they can do, and visit our site and learn.
That's pretty interesting. How about for parents and grandparents? Anything that they can do to sort of talk to their kids or their grandkids before they go off to school, or if they're currently in a situation where they're in financial trouble, and anything that they can do from a parent's perspective?
I think they have to explain what the long-term consequences are. Now, not all parents are great budgeters.
No, that's true.
But there's nothing wrong with going online and finding some financial handling tips. But I think it's got to be emphasized when the bank of mom and dad is no longer paying for the credit cards, you've got to be smart, check what you're doing, and also make sure you're not the victim of fraud. And you can do that by checking your credit report for free, actually.
All right, very good. And where can we check that out real quick?
Annualcreditreport.com. It's government sanctioned and it's free.
All right, very good. Howard, thank you again. And now we're going to